In this video, I want to further expand on the classification of entities and what we should do with them. But this deals with the issue that I see a lot in paranormal communities, and that is using mythological entities as a means to identify something that is causing paranormal activity. And I'm going to take two entities for an example, the trickster and the spirit, and the mimic, that is. Now, some people say that, for example, a trickster spirit could imitate a spirit guide, or a mimic could imitate a spirit guide, or imitate a person who's alive, like a family member or a lover of some kind. And I try my best to point out that this is mythology. These entities are mentioned in mythology, and were never meant to be taken seriously. You see, the whole purpose of mythology is to help an ancient civilization connect to its traditions. Okay, so mythology helped people understand who their gods and goddesses were. It helped them understand the virtues that their culture emphasizes and morals, but also help explain customs as well. I'll give one example before I get into the trickster or the mimic, and that is in Japanese mythology, you have the Kyukijin. The Kyukijin is basically this shaggy looking dog that looks actually quite adorable, but it is a malicious spirit. So basically the Kyukijin would go into a urban area, but would favor households that were not well maintained. They were dirty and unkept, either the household or the garden, and the Kyukijin would go there. It would go into this house and live under the floorboards or in the closets, feed on a diet of dust, mold, and trash. And signs that a Kyukijin was in the house was strange illnesses that could not be explained, but also minor strokes of bad luck. Okay, but this is how the Japanese explain why they are so adamant about maintaining cleanliness. Okay, because if you don't maintain cleanliness, well, then you can't have an ordered society, and only misfortune will befall you. Either it's physical or metaphysical, illness and luck. And that was just simply used to help people understand why, again, the Japanese were very much clean freaks. I mean, I don't mean that in an insulting way, but I just remember a neighbor of mine when I lived in Washington State. She was Japanese, and she would literally, it wasn't enough that she maintained her house meticulously. It was so clean, so well ordered. She would go up and down our street and pick up all the trash that had been discarded on the road. Her desire for cleanliness was just scary. And quite frankly, I admired her and respected her for that. So let's move on now to the trickster spirits. And I got my notes right here, so I'm going to turn away and read from this. So basically, tricksters are beings that could be mythological, they could be divine beings, or they could be entities. But when we talk about this, trickster archetypes could be like Loki or Hermes. But they were meant to be seen as figures that represent chaos, transformation, boundaries, and not to be taken as literal spirits. Just like mimics, for example, shapeshifters, vampires, or other deceptive spirits that can imitate either other entities or imitate physical beings. And they symbolize fear, imitation, loss of identity, but despite that are not a metaphysical life form. Okay, but people seem to use these things as diagnostic shortcuts to explain what they can't explain. Sometimes they will simply just go on the internet and do a quick search and then come up with something that's mythological because it fits all the all the signs that they believe they are seeing, and therefore will believe that that is what it must be. But like I said, there are only 4 entities on the astral plane, as I said in the previous video: spirit guides, ghosts, astral fragments, and demons. Now, demons can imitate an entity, and that would be a spirit guide. This is usually when it happens, it's usually when you're using an Ouija board to communicate with your spirit guide, because that's what the Ouija board was designed to do, believe it or not. But the giveaway on that is when your spirit guide all of a sudden starts becoming very malicious, bullying, aggressive. And when that happens, you just tell your spirit guide, hey, a demon's trying to interfere with us. A demon's trying to make me think that you're speaking to me in this manner. And when the spirit guide is made aware that a demon is literally trying to interfere, it will capture the demon and, dispose of it. And I'll do a video another day about what happens when a spirit guide does that, because my spirit guide actually did have to dispose of a demon that was possessing me. And apparently this is a process that even involves the creator of the universe himself. So I just want to be clear, stay away from the mythological understandings of certain entities such as tricksters and mimics and skinwalkers and shapeshifters. They have no basis in reality whatsoever. And so I'd like to hear from you, however. I mean, do you think that I am wrong? Please, by all means, give me an example. Let's have a discussion and let's present our ideas. Let's present our facts and beliefs. And I believe it would only help us understand the subject better if we do this. So be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.